Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. On deck, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, is Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we come to you from one of the truly iconic stadiums in the NFL as you get a look at Lambeau Field here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Packer team as we enter play here. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they've been flawless all year long as they hit the home stretch at 13-0.
And now they just have to guard against complacency. You still got to go out and earn it every week.
Two teams that have met at least twice a year since 1932. The Lions and Packers underway from Lambeau. The return man here, T.J. Jones. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by the former Texas Christian University Horned Frog, Andy Dalton.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
And they'll run it here across the 30 to the 31-yard line. It's the Pro Bowler Chandler Jones who makes the tackle. And the starting crew defensively for Detroit.
I'm looking at Jabril Peppers in the secondary, the 25th pick in the first round in 2017. Played in 13 games, 57 tackles and an interception. Who I like most about him is versatility. He can play cornerback, but I think he's best at safety and a little bit of what they call nickel or dime linebacker, where he can go inside and use his tackling ability in the running game.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
They go play action here on 1st down. And Jones has it over the middle. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one goes for 24 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make the play on the football.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. He's at the 30. And he will bring it back and interception, return for a Lions touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. The partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early. But if there's that special one there, I say they go get him. When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And out of the air, Dalton. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Sean Lee. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. He's on quite the interception run. He had 2 last week, another one here. Remember, he's not a DB, he's a linebacker.
But how many of those linebackers started as DBs and pumped themselves up into being linebackers? So the ball skills are the same, right? The coverage skills and responsibilities are the same, and he is paying it off in a big, big way.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
To throw on 2nd is Watson, eluding the pressure right. Finds the open man, it's Mike Williams. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. The numbers for Williams a week ago, 4 catches, 52 yards.
And I'd certainly expect them to use him quite a bit because he runs excellent routes, has good hands, and knows how to get open. Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
On first down, Watson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 10 more there and another first down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Escaping the pressure right. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. Now a play fake here on first down. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A great effort there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Lions add on to their lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Elliott good with a PAT, and that'll make the score 14-0. Now Jones. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot. And
under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. C.J. Mosley. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's able to get up here to the 26. 11 yards on the pickup, and they're going to face a third down. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Third down, a shot here for Dalton. It's caught. Jones. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Dalton off play action. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. 1 quarter down here on a frigid December night. 14-0 is our score. We're back to Lambeau in just a moment.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. They've got a 2nd down and 8 to start things out. Dalton here from the gun. To the right side, and he's got Landry complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
The Packers on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Another chance for Dalton. And that's complete to Gates. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. On now is the Packers punter, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. A tremendous play there from Saquon Barkley. 57 yards on the ground. One of the reasons that this team is on this win streak, big runs like that.
When you see runs like that broken off, you know this is a team that's confident running the football. A big reason why this streak has occurred, they've come together, had a plan, and stuck to it. And when you get big-time runs like that, it makes it easier to stay with it, doesn't it?
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone.
Reset.
On 1st down, it's Watson. Flush to his right. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a 1st down.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the 1st down.
Down. Flag 22. Flag 22.
And they'll go on the ground. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Well, lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Richmond. Reset.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
Barkley will try to punch it in. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Saquon Barkley, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Lions are able to grow their lead. And he was excellent on that drive. He deserved to be the one to get across the chalk.
Oh, I agree with you totally. A workhorse on the drive. And how about that last decisive run to punch it in?
Elliott good on the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. Elliott now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. They'll run it now out of the gun. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The 13 yards that time and a first.
And I know you can't really see it, but that play spells frustration with a capital F for the guys on defense. They covered everyone else, end up going to the running back out of the backfield, and he picks up a back-breaking first down.
Passing, it's Dalton. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Oh, and after the sack, he's still down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Come on, let's go!
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Give him 6 on the run. They're going to be faced now with a 3rd and 12.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
The Packers on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12.
Here we go!
Now Brissett, the backup, his first throw to the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. There's a running back who was a receiver on the play. I think he's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. A 1,000-yard campaign in his sights, Charles, but needs a little bit of a kick here down the stretch to reach it.
And sometimes at this stage of the season, you're looking for that extra goal, right? That extra motivation to accomplish what you want, not just as a team, but as individuals. He's got to stretch a little bit to get there. That might be what they're talking about during the practice sessions in their meetings. Hey, we can still get this done. Let's go ahead and feed him the ball.
And the offensive line, I'm sure they're well aware of where he stands as well.
They are, and I think for them, it would be an even better accomplishment to get there now, because it seems like a little bit of a reach.
And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. A gain of 6 there on first. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Lambeau following these words. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's into the clear. The 40, the 30, 10, touchdown, Detroit. Saquon Barkley, his second TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Lions add on to their lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Elliott good with a PAT, and the route is on here in this first half. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And the long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. Elliott now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Not easy being a rookie left tackle in this league, and there they got him for the penalty.
Not easy at all. Think about what you're dealing with every game you play. Ostensibly, the best pass rusher is over you on every snap. I'd be a little jumpy. Myself.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Let's go! Try it, 38!
from the shotgun. It's Brissett, and he's got the hook up to Landry. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. A first down throw for Brissett. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect.
It's been my observation. There's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10.
Come on, let's go!
Throwing again, Brissett on 2nd and 10. Caught left side, it's Beckham. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. 3rd and short yardage, Brissett finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And brought down, but the juke, the very nice juke, gives him the first down yardage there. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. And his throw here's incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Come on, let's go! Red 38!
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Let's go! Red 38!
First down, Brissett. And this will be incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Here we go!
So the
Red
offense
38!
a little antsy. The flag comes out, and a 5-yard penalty.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still 2nd down.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long.
Here we go! What? None!
They'll throw again. Brissett. And a first hookup with his all-pro tight end, Rob Gronkowski. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. The Packers on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 7.
Here we go! What? 90!
Again, it's Brissett. And that one drops incomplete, as he got popped as he was throwing it. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Now to try the field goal, here's Daniel Carlson. This will be kicked from the 42. It's a 52-yard attempt. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it could be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
Going for the deep ball. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson caught left side to Crabtree. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Now a first down throw. Watson flushed out right. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. On second down, here's Watson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the left hash, this from 46. And Elliott puts this one through. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Lions taking the lead to the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Man, where has the season gone? We're into week 15 now. So let's give everybody a look at what's coming up here on what should be a very interesting weekend of football. Some good games starting in the early window on Sunday, and one of the big ones features the New England Patriots as they get set to match up with the Buffalo Bills. In the late afternoon games, one to keep an eye on for sure will be in Minneapolis, where it'll be the Vikings taking on the New York Giants. And lastly, Monday Night Football has a good one lined up between the New Orleans Saints and the Arizona Cardinals.
There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. Spins by. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
Richmond.
They'll run it now out of the gun. 9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
Double down. Key 26. Key 26. Do jet. Do jet.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards. Back to the 33. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
From our vantage point, that was just one bad play by the offensive line in a series of really good ones tonight. But I know that they're going to be really ticked off. It's a lot like a baseball pitcher losing a no-hitter late in the game.
The Packers offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They were able to get the stop defensively, and now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
Come on, let's go. What? 90.
And they'll run it here. And he's going to lose yardage back to his own 1-yard line. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout, and we will. We've got an injured Packer on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Ohio! Ohio!
Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll get him a little space here up to the 5-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
The Packers on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 8.
Come on, let's go. What?
Out of the gun, Brissett. Looking for Gronkowski, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, C.J. Mosley. And 1st and goal is what it will be at the 6-yard line. Excellent field position. And that pick just sets him up beautifully right down near the goal line.
I remember being in a defensive meeting back when I was in college, and our defensive coordinator says, we're going to call this Be Who You Are defense. D linemen, you play the run. Linebackers, be aware of anything. And secondary, you play the pass. That way, you're all set, ready for whatever they put out there.
Suddenly, it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. They'll try to run it in, going option right. And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
And on this play, the read for the quarterback was the defensive end, and he was totally focused on the quarterback. He should have given it off inside to the running back. Instead, he kept it and ended up taking a loss on the play.
Now Watson eluding the pressure right. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Tiger.
Now Watson on 3rd and goal. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trent Murphy in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
3rd and goal, they decided to throw for it, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open, left him nowhere to go with the football, had to absorb the sack.
And the kick by Elliott is good. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. Well, the offense, they got the ball in a great spot, but they went nowhere. Forced him to take just the 3.
And they'll be, happy taking the 3. But those guys on the other side, they've got to be ecstatic. They didn't let them get anywhere. It made them kick a field goal. That almost feels like they got the advantage, doesn't it?
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they
Still
saw it.
second down.
Bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
And that false start penalty is certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long.
Let's go! Brand 38! Brand 38!
Following the penalty, it's Williams. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. Give them 4 on the carry there, but that only takes them back to where they started. 3rd and 10.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
The Packers on 3rd down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 10.
Let's go! Brand 38!
From the gun, here's Brissett. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Chandler Jones. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect him. Fielded at the 33. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15, and the Lions will take over. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He's already hit pay dirt twice. He's up over 100 yards. He is feeling good.
And he's just zipping along today. Everything coming together for him. It's that type of a day that you see a back just kind of have a grin on his face every time his number is called, because he doesn't feel like there are going to be any lost yardage plays. Nothing but big-time positive runs.
Making the sideline grin as well. On 1st down, Watson. He gets this one to Bruce Ellington. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
4 down, 4 down. Alert! He's coming. Double up, double up. He's coming, double up. I got it. I got motion. I got motion. 2 jet! 2 jet!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Hey, 4 down, 4 down. Reset, reset, reset.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. And third quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding clock.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to third down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
59 Mike, check, 59.
Out of the gun, Watson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. As his guys are in for 6. And the Lions just continue to pour it on. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Elliott now to add the extra point. Elliott good on the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Elliott now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that. Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while, get at least 2 first downs, give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They run it again with Williams. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
It looks way too easy right now. 2 carries, 2 straight first down runs. The eyes are carrying the legs to the proper hole, but they're being created by an offensive line that has the leverage game going for them right now. Lower than the defensive front, creating space, and he's finding it in a big way. Gotta love what they're doing on offense right now.
Back now at Lambeau. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. We're set on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40.
Hey, come on, let's go. Brad 38.
On 2nd down, Brissett again. The left side completion to Jones. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Here we go. Brad 38. Brad 38.
Brissett. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. So out now come the Lions. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. Ellington has it, middle of the field. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Watson now perfect since the 2nd half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
4 down, 4 down. Check. 4 down, 4 down. Check that.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Here's Watson. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. 3rd and long. It's Watson. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it around. After a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
12 yards on the return that time. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. A 2nd down throw for Brissett. Looking middle, it's caught by Gronkowski. And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. And that one results in 35 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Let's go!
Brissett to throw on first. And his throw is incomplete. Gronkowski again, he was the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Sean Lee. Not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Let's go! What? 90! What? 90!
It's 3rd and long for Brissett. And that is incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number one for what we've seen this season.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. Man open, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
Gone, gone! Gone, gone! Gone, gone! Gone, gone!
On 1st and 10, Webb. Buying time to his left. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
To throw on second down, here's Webb. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. The last catch took him 2 yards in the wrong direction, so now what can they do on third? Out of the gun, it's Webb. Throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. And they'll get 14 yards out of it and a fresh set of downs.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Webb. He's going to loft one deep left side here. That's going to be caught. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Elliott good with a PAT, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Elliott now to kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows?
This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Elliott good on the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. Now Jones. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
that's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. Throwing again, Brissett on 2nd and 10. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Jarvis Landry, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. Broken tackle. And spinning now.
Missed.
He will not go down. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. That one looks like he'll throw here. He's going to float this one deep right side. This is caught inside the 15. A big play there for Detroit. 48 yards.
And they just had another big completion there. And I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
The age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry about it, stop it, right?
Go ahead and stop me. And I think a lot of the times they just look at it like, let's just play the game. And however it turns out, it turns out.
No. Check. Patriot.
They'll try to run for it on 1st and goal. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Elliott now to kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and if we kept having a rough patch, he said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Brissett. He gets it into the hands of Gronkowski, complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down, but a nice little gain. And we've got a timeout. 9 seconds remaining.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. And he's going to drop this off to Williams, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Or are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for the Lions, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And now they get the weekend off as they get a little extra time to prepare to face the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, the loss here is their 10th of the season. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons.